Previously on Spenelli Speaks.
So tell me what you want, what I really, really want. I want to sing.
Hi everyone, Danny here. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Tuesday, and in true booktube fashion, it's Tag Tuesday. And I don't think I have done a tag in ages. I have been saving all the tags. So if you've tagged me in something, chances are I have it saved somewhere. And I will eventually get to it. Fingers crossed. If you've tagged me in something and you really want to see me do it, just comment below with the tag that you tagged me in, and I'll shuffle through my tag bin and I'll try to get to it as soon as possible. Now, the tag that I'm doing today, I actually was very recently tagged in, and because of the way I was tagged, I felt it was pretty darn important to just do it. Get it out of the way, and yes. So if you have seen the Book Buffet read along, you know that they have a book tag. So the Book Buffet is, like I said, a read along that's happening that is being hosted by the Feasting Females. And if you don't know who they are a foursome of gals who are, you know, talking and reading about the food industry, origins of food, that kind of stuff. They do live shows every once in a while where they discuss a recent book they read, and it's pretty amazing. I will link some of those in the description below, but those Feasting Females who's created this original tag are Amrita at Amrita by the Book, Rosie of Rosie Cockshut, Kim from Bookmarks and Breadsticks, who's a very dear friend of mine, and Amy from Potato Brarian. That is a weird word to say, but it's amazing. I love it. Potato Brarian. And I was tagged in this book tag by my dear friends over at Gunpowder Fiction and Plot, Scott and Nelle, and they made a joke about the fact that I love bread so much that I would rather have bread than cake, which is not untrue. At my wedding this past October, so October 2020, instead of cake at my wedding, we had bread. Now, it was still dessert bread. It was, you know, banana bread, chocolate chip bread, that kind of stuff, but I'm just not a big fan of sweets in general, and quite frankly, I just never imagined having cake at my wedding. Now, we did have a cake to cut, and we put it in each other's mouths, and even then I was like, I don't like cake. But for the tradition of it all, it was there, it was beautiful. I did it myself because I'm awesome. Anywho, I do love me some bread. So I decided, because of the jokey joke, I might as well just get this out of the way now. I don't take any offense. It's, like I said, it's not untrue. I do prefer bread over cake. I prefer bread over a lot of things. But I thought that I would go ahead and do this tag, as my dear friends Scott and Nelle have tagged me in quite a few things over the last several months, and it's high time that I do a tag. They tagged me in. Plus, I really love the Feasting Females, and I just really wanted to do their tag and shout them out. They really do a fantastic job of collaboration in talking about such a niche network of books that many of us don't think of on a regular basis. So it's really nice that they bring this to the forefront and have been able to show booktube something different, which I really love. So I wanted to be able to give them some love as well, as I do enjoy them as a collection of a collaboration of the four of them, but individually their channels are very good as well. So I will link all of their channels below, as well as their talks in Feasting Females, and then this original tag that they have done, which I believe is on Amrita's channel. So anywho, I've talked almost 5 minutes of nothing, so let's go ahead and get right into the tag. Okay, so question number 1 is appetizer. A short story, novelette or novella that you wish could be expanded into a full-length novel, get a novel length or get a novel length sequel. And this one was pretty came right to mind when I was reading this question, and that has got to be Brokeback Mountain. I read this short story novella in a college course on, I think it was Western literature, and I was blown away by this novella. And then later when the film came out, it is one of my favorite films. It is just so gripping and beautiful. The story is just so captivating, and it really is something that I wish would have been a full-length novel. I feel like I just really wanted to have more of these two to read about. This version that I have is actually the short story, which you can see I've written all over. And then we have some pictures from the film itself, and then we have the script in the back. So yes, I do know that this is the movie cover, but this is specifically a novella and the script together, so it would have the movie cover, because if you know me, you know I don't like movie covers, but this one I'm okay with because it's the purpose of the entire collection. So this is the one I definitely wish would have had a full-length novel. Not so much a sequel, because I feel like the story was complete, but I do wish it was longer, just because it's so good. Anywho, so question 2, salad bar. Pick 3 ingredients, plot elements, writing style, tropes, etc. that would be in your ideal book salad. And this one's hard because when I was first thinking about this, I was thinking I always like some element of mystery. I want to be working something out throughout the entirety of the book. But then I thought to myself, I don't really read a lot of mystery novels, so that kind of makes me a little bit of a liar, because I don't read a lot of mystery books. When I do read them, I feel like they're not, I figure everything out too quickly. So I guess I just like to be able to think about things while I'm reading. I also like drama. I know that sounds really bizarre because I don't like drama in real life, though I am probably pretty dramatic, my husband would say. But I like giggling, oh my gosh, this person is being ridiculous. So what comes to mind is that I'm reading this epic saga of Kristen Lavenstatter, and it's so dramatic, and there's just so much happening, and it's truly an epic saga. So I think that's what I like, is I just like it when things are over the top, or there's some kind of mystery where I'm trying to figure it out. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a mystery novel, but something is in there that the reader is trying to figure out. It has to have that element. I like those. Other than that, I don't really know, because I read so many different kinds of books that it's hard to say one element that really needs to be part of my salad bar. DOSA Station, a slim novel that packs a significant punch. Now I read this with Scott and Nelle, and I think they would agree that the picture of Dorian Gray, definitely, as slim as it is, and I know you can't tell because of all my tabs, but it is a slim book, and it packs a punch. It has so much in this book. Each chapter is just blows you away. Now, some would argue with me that they didn't like this book. I don't know if this would be categorized as one of those novels where it's a love or hate relationship, but I loved this book. 5 stars. It's fabulous and it's tiny. You can get through it really quickly. As you can see, I was addicted to putting tabs in each section. This is a fantastic read if you are into classics and into just crazy characters where they're just so demented that they're brilliant. Oh, anywho, that packed a punch. Question 4 is Pasta, a book that brings you comfort and leaves you fully satisfied and content when you're done with it. And I have to say that there's a good tie between these two following books, and they have a lot to do with one another, so it makes sense. But the first is Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. For those of you who are familiar, you know that Mrs. Dalloway is about Mrs. Dalloway, and this all takes place over the course of one day. There's varying characters. There is a lot to do with psychosis in this book. There's a lot to do with, you know, the norm post World War I, getting to that center of your mind and realizing who you are and what you are and where you are and who you should be. And it's really just such a wonderful novel. Again, some would argue with me it's hard to get into or to understand, but I absolutely adore this book, which is why when I read Michael Cunningham's The Hours, which I could reread a million times, I absolutely love it. This absolutely leaves me content. And this book is actually a book that holds 3 different timelines. We have one timeline which has Virginia Woolf, who is writing Mrs. Dalloway. And then we have a second timeline that is settled in like the 1960s, and it's about a woman suffering depression, and she is reading Mrs. Dalloway. And then there is a third timeline of which is in the early 2000s, where a character is referred to and really, you know, like she is a real life Mrs. Dalloway. You know, she is planning a party. She has, you know, friends from her past and present that she's trying to help. It's amazing. It's fantastic. I love this book. I wrote on this book during my master's degree. Virginia Woolf and this book in particular will always be in my heart, my soul. Anywho, I think I'm talking too much in this tag. Maybe this is why I don't do tags very often, because I get too talky. Anywho, let's move on to question 5, which is Beef. A book that is hearty, whether it's long, fills you up with gooey warm, or is just a slog to get through. So for this one, I would pick the Deborah Harkness All Souls trilogy. So this is actually the 3rd book in the series, but as you can tell, they all are pretty long. I think the 2nd one is even longer. But the thing that's about these books, they're not a slog to get through, but they are very historically heavy. So when you're reading it, you're really reading through a lot of historical information. So for someone who isn't, you know, familiar with it, it may be a bit to get through or slog through. But for me, being someone who loves that kind of thing, it really does make me all gooey inside. I absolutely love this trilogy. I'm hoping to reread these maybe early next year because they're fantastic. I have not yet read the 4th that she published a couple years back, called The Times Convert. It's kind of like after the 3, and quite frankly, I think I read the first 30 pages and I just wasn't interested in where the story was going, because it wasn't really about the people who you really get to love in I don't know. I'm talking too much in these tags. Anywho, this is the trilogy I would say is my beef. So All Souls trilogy, Bo Show. Okay, so number 6 is Bread. and I love bread, so I'm pretty excited about this question because bread is something that you and your friends fight over while waiting for dinner. It's the bread basket, of course, you know. Talk about a book you fight with other people. So because Nell likes to kid with me, and I like to kid with Nell, and it's all in good fun, the first and only author that came to mind, drumroll please, I'm pretty sure Nell knows exactly who I'm going to say, but I'm going to say Dan Brown, because I love Dan Brown, and Nell hates him with a fiery passion. I'm pretty sure one of her tags, she literally said he would be one of the authors that she would smite from the world and not exist. But he is literally one of my favorites. I have read all of his work, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I've missed anything. And though some are better than others, I will fight you. I like Dan Brown. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care that he may not be that great of a writer or he writes the same stuff. I love it. I love his writing. It makes me feel good. I can't put it down. I get through the pages really, really fast because it's just exciting and I love it. And I don't care how many classics I read in my life or how many degrees I have. I love Dan Brown, okay? I'll fight you. This particular book is called Deception Point, and this is probably my favorite of Dan Brown's work. I really love his Robert Langdon series, but I have to say that his individual books outside of series, Deception Point and Digital Fortress, I actually like those more than the Da Vinci Code series. They're just so good. This particular one, we have some people going out into like the Arctic where they supposedly find alien life forms. And there's a whole scandal and conspiracy behind everything. It's excellent. I really liked this one. A lot of dead bodies start piling up. It's good. I really like this one. So whatever you say, Nell, but fight me. Don't care. Anywho, agree to disagree. Question 7 is Cheese Room, a book with a happy ever after ending. Now, surprisingly, for someone who doesn't like sad endings, I really don't read a lot of books that have happy endings. And even if it's considered happy, there's still like a lot wrong with it. I'm thinking of a couple of different books, but then I was like, I don't know if that's really happy. I mean, so the only one I could think of that really seemed like it was a happy ending, because we did get to see the entirety of someone's life, was Sarah Green's Water for Elephants, which I recently read. I have a review of it in my July reviews. This one was probably a happy ending, and it actually surprised me because I'm so not used to reading happy endings, so I don't know if that's a spoiler, but this has a happy ending. So yeah, this is the only one I could think of that had a happy ending. So if you want a happy ending, find that book. Oh, I suppose, if you don't know what this is about, it's about a circus and an elephant and some other things, but it's been on, the hype's been on. There's a movie, I'm sure you know all about it. Anywho, number 8, Chocolate Fountain. When you read a new series or author, do you dip in and out, or do you read it all back to back? I dip in and out. I would say when I was younger, I would have to read it all before I would move on to a different series. And now in my adulthood, I have to be all over the place. Like, I can't read, you know, everything from one author and then move to the next. Like, I'm reading books from different genres, from different eras, from different authors, nonfiction, fiction. So for me, I can't keep in one note anymore. I think my mind is whirling around too much that I really just need the variety. So like when I was younger and the Da Vinci Code was coming out, every time that came out, like I was like waiting for that book. You know, and other series too. When I was reading Narnia, I read right through all of Narnia. When I read Series of Unfortunate Events, I read all through, like, the whole thing. Same with, you know, Spiderwick Chronicles, all those kinds of things. But that was my younger self. Now I'm kind of all over the place, you know. Other than the Pink Carnation series that I'm reading with Laura, we're reading the whole series all the way through as our buddy read for this year. But I'm not about to jump into Willig's other books once we're done. I would probably take a very long break from reading any more of her work. So yeah, that's my answer to that. Okay, so number 9, who's invited? This is tag some foodie friends. So the people that I've tagged for certain reasons, and I'll tell you in each. And I don't know if they've been tagged before, so I apologize if you have, if you've already done the tag, if you're not interested in tagging, and of course, it's never like you have to do the tag, but anywho. I'm going to tag Christy Lewis because I know that she really loves making food and she shows it to us on Instagram all the time. And I know, Christy, that you are kind of taking a slowdown on your channel, but if you would love to do this in one of your stories, I would be very happy to see that. Christy Lewis has her channel Dostoevsky in Space, so I would love to see you do this tag. Also, Krista from Books and Jams, she is often showing us what she's eating. She has started a new channel for her joyful journey. So I'll link that below as well. She's just so inspiring and I'm so happy for her to be, you know, bringing herself on as another channel in her health goals. And I'm so excited to follow her and keep in her journey and encourage her along the way. And hopefully her motivation will motivate me as well. So I know that she is very conscious about food and healthy decisions. And I think this would be a great tag for her to do. And then this person doesn't necessarily have anything food related, but I love her and I would love to give her some love. And I would love to see how she would do this tag on her channel because she does a lot of ASMRs. So Mary M. Book Pod. So Mary is a subscriber of mine who is fantastic. And she has a channel called Mary M's Book Pod. She does a lot of ASMRs, but she also has a podcast. So I think she would probably do this tag via her podcast on that channel, which I would be very happy to see. So check her out. And then my last one is just a fellow Wisconsinite, and I know that we probably share a lot of the same food likes being in the same state. So I'm going to tag Amy Bowman, and her channel is called Amy Bowman. So that's all I'm going to tag today. Until next time, I hope you all are reading something great, taking care, and staying safe. And as always, you know how it goes. Happy reading. Bye.